Ah, shit. More Diablo Immortal drama. Let's go. Bellular news. Numbers are in. Diablo Immortal is 25 times worse than other gacha games.
A few interesting things. Number one, more of the true cost has actually emerged. It's kind of crazy. Also, we've got a comparison to other games in the...
I believe for a mobile game, Diablo Immortal cost was really, really big. Probably on the levels of Diablo 3.
Gacha genre that essentially show how
it's the same fucking game
and exceedingly expensive Immortal is. And then, perhaps most importantly, we have Immortal serving as an example of the play-to-earn economy. No doubt you've heard from
fair enough,
Square Enix's president, from
NFT
many leaders within the games industry, that play-to-earn is an emerging field that they're becoming fascinated in. Well, today we've got a perfect example with Diablo Immortal that shows you exactly the sort of thing they want to create. Make no mistake, it is not a good...
Play-to-earn was in World of Warcraft. Sell gold for money.
thing for the quality of the games and the experiences that we have. Now,
it turns out Blizzard actually are so far ahead of the game, they already have, across their library of games, a play-to-earn to pay-to-win cycle.
Play to earn, pay to win. Interesting. Play to earn to pay to win.
Of course, I'd be failing my job if I didn't say, go wishlist The Pale Beyond on Steam. It's the video game we're making. So if you'd like to support us, if you are down for a narrative RPG, sort of, Arctic exploration kind of deal, then hey, check it out. Things are going really pretty awesome with it, and your support has been incredible.
Let's see if they added okay, so they didn't add themselves in the game, or at least I don't recognize. Like I don't see Preach, I don't see Matt. Like they were not inserted in the game, it looks like. Unless the middle guy is an old version of Preach. Not Preach, Jesus Christ. Bellular. God, they're both mics, so,
Let me tell you, those wish lists, they're getting in a more happy place, and that's good. Okay, with that said...
I believe it's probably a good game. Just really not my thing.
Okay. Reddit user hits 7,000 resonance using 600 million World of Warcraft gold. This is a fun one, but the implication of this 600 million gold is quite something else. Okay, so there's a Reddit user, Nickbon, who basically is extremely rich in World of Warcraft. A total of 600 million...
That means he has 60 characters that are capped, right? Fuck.
Gold. And they turn that into about $50,000 of Battle.net balance. That was then used...
See, this is what I said, like... If you divide this by 60, right? So he had 600 million. Per character can only have 10 million, right? That's the max. That means he bought 3,242. Divide that by 60, that's about 50 tokens, right? A bit more than 50. 50 tokens times 15 is on like $750. Like, you're not getting shit for 10 million gold in WoW, in Diablo Immortal. Even with 600 million gold, he barely got shit. 50,000 is a lot, don't get me wrong, but man, there are people who spent hundreds of thousands, so...
Well, in Diablo Immortal, right? So they actually achieved this in a pretty interesting way. They had a whole bunch of leftover BlizzCon TCG codes.
So that's what it was.
TCG's the Warcraft trading card game. If you've ever heard of the Spectral Tiger, of course that comes from the TCG.
It's like $2,000 mount or some shit.
I believe there's a Tyrael or something as well. From
the Tyrael mount,
that are just extremely rare, high-value items. So somehow this person ended up with those. They were then able to sell them for just eye-watering amounts of World of Warcraft gold on the auction house. Now, given that they turned it into 600 million gold, worth about 50 grand, I have to wonder why they didn't do this in eBay, but hey, it's what they chose to do.
Target.
Now, it actually took them ages because there is a daily, there's a limit basically in how many WoW
Oh,
tokens.
wow.
If you're not aware,
For real?
WoW token is the thing that lets you basically turn your in-game gold into either 1 month of game time or $15 worth
Don't forget also, like, the more you buy, the more expensive the token gets, so...
of Battle.net balance, which is, the Blizzard company store basically, though notably cannot be used in physical merchandise.
Yes.
Okay, so they got 3,242 WoW tokens at $15 a token. That is a rather insane 48.5 grand of Battle.net balance. And with
USD.
that, they were able to run a grand total of 2,165 Elder Rifts, of course, all with those big, tasty, eternal legendary crests. They amassed 6,500 runes, and they hit 7,000 resonance with 4 out of 5 resonating bonuses unlocked. So, they didn't finish their character, of course.
Not even close, no.
But the character is now powerful enough to dunk on some of the, the cash streamers like the guy It's All Business, who I think is the one that Asmongold reacted to. I think they had a bit of a chat. And his post just ends with a warning.
Self-declared $100K cash whale that streams on Twitch with scary efficiency. Is that him? JT is All Business? Is that him? Yeah, it is. Okay. I see it now.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, I see it. So he dunked on him. That's hilarious.
Wells, I am coming for you.
Yeah. What's interesting is I was looking up because obviously, this person has put all of this like fake World of Warcraft gold into fake Blizzard money, which is
Yeah,
sort of taking
basically.
this real money that other people are investing.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't quite cash out with I believe Negabon said they could have sold this for RMT and made real money for it, but
it's the
TCG
point.
items weren't selling very well, for money.
I mean,
guess.
it's really just because it's worth $2,000 doesn't mean people are gonna buy it. It's not that easy to sell these things. These are very long pending sales. You're gonna keep reposting that shit and all that stuff.
Blizzard maybe has started to clamp down on that a little bit or something.
Nah, that's not it.
And based on current market values on player auctions, that 600 million gold could have been sold probably for about 54,000 US dollars.
Wow.
But that's a thing, right? It does have that real value. It does
Probably
have
more during Race the World First, but yeah.
real value because players are willing to pay for it with real money. But just put it into Diablo Immortal instead.
Yeah, and of course, because that gold is coming from one account, it would probably be significantly easier for Blizzard to track down using whatever automated processes they have. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, okay, but, that's Blizzard haven't made money here, it's just transferring one thing into another. No.
Yeah.
For every single WoW token, Blizzard earns $5, because if one player wants to purchase a World of Warcraft token, right, to get...
But the thing is, they don't make money from him buying it. They make money from the person who put it on the auction house. So he technically did not give Blizzard money. The people who already bought it before he bought the WoW token for gold, the people who already put in the auction house, they're the ones who gave Blizzard the $5.
Let's say 200,000 gold. That costs that player $20.
Yes.
The person who then purchases that token with gold, thus giving that gold to the original player,
Yeah.
they get 1 month of game time or $15 of Battle.net
Yeah,
balance.
not 20. Yeah.
That basically means for every single WoW token, Blizzard earns $5. So if, was it roughly 3,500? There, so it's basically 17.5 grand is what Blizzard have made on just the token premium.
Yeah, that's what they've actually made in terms of raw profit.
Yes.
But there's also the thing of this person didn't spend it on game time,
Yeah.
which means the way it kind of ultimately is those $20 didn't come out.
Yeah.
Obviously, this player got all that value actually out of Diablo Immortal, but that wasn't monetary value. It was literally because of all of this, all this trading of currency within the Blizzard ecosystem. All of that currency came from $20 times the amount of these tokens.
Yeah.
So this is, $48,000 of Blizzard balance, which then went into Diablo Immortal. And then that was about $64,000 total for the purchase price for all the tokens, which means Blizzard made about $64,000 and then gave $48,000 of digital made up value. which means
Yeah.
Blizzard walked away with $64,000.
Yeah, and look,
I mean,
it's sort of-
regardless, they would have, like, without him buying, they would have walked away with $64,000. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't matter if he bought it or not. Once people put it in the auction house, Blizzard's already made their money, so it doesn't matter that he bought it.
we don't have a companies making money at all. It's just it's the pay-to-win part that we don't.
Yeah.
We just think that WoW Token is and the Battle.net balance side are absolutely fascinating business model. It really is genius. I mean, let's just say a new Blizzard game comes out, and for the sake of easy maths, let's say it costs $60. It'll probably be 70, but whatever, it costs 60. So somebody.
I still haven't paid for
buys that
any
with
Blizzard game.
$60 of Battle.net balance. For that, Blizzard have actually got $80. It's
Yeah.
just a really, really smart system. Really smart.
Yeah, and it is basically.
But here's the thing. Yes, you are right, but also you are wrong. Because whether or not I buy the token does not, like, if I don't buy the token, Blizzard would actually make more money. Right? If, let's say, everyone bought tokens from the Battle.net, because I need to, like, make it a bit clear. If I didn't buy a token with WoW Gold, Blizzard would make the same amount of money. If I bought the token with WoW Gold or didn't, Blizzard already made the money. So it doesn't matter if I buy the token or not. The only thing that it does is it saves me money to buy shit with. Okay? It's like, because he's saying that it's like the expansion, if you buy with tokens, is actually $80 instead of $60. No, the expansion, if I buy with tokens, is $0. Blizzard already made their money when the token was bought, not when it was sold. Right? Does that make sense? So, like, I understand what he's saying, but I think the logic is a bit faulty in that regard, because Blizzard's not making money on me buying it. Right? Me farming gold and then buying a token does not give Blizzard money. It's the people who bought the token for real money and put it on the auction house is what made Blizzard money, not me buying it. If let's say everyone was buying tokens and no one was buying them, if everyone was paying real money for tokens and no one was buying them with gold, and then they bought games with real money, Blizzard would make more money. Me buying token is actually reducing the amount of money Blizzard technically makes on their products. Right?
Like, obviously, play to earn. I think there was Plex in Eve, and then Guild Wars 2, and EverQuest 2 a little bit, though it didn't stick. And then Diablo 3 were elements of this play to earn kind of being before. But this is the first one that's really stuck and gotten big, and because it's Blizzard and not just World of Warcraft, it's this kind of thing that will stretch into every game.
Yeah, that's the big thing. So Eve Plex, that's all Eve game time and stuff. Whereas this actually goes into a broader economy, and that broader economy is just the digital products and services sold by Blizzard Entertainment. So it's not a massive economy, and for most people it is kind of World of Warcraft related stuff, because maybe they want to get a character transfer or something like that, or a name change. But this is like one of our best early examples of being able to cash out one in-game currency that you can earn, be able to cash that into another form of value. Now, what a lot of the big companies would like is for that to be something on a blockchain, right? So instead of Battle.net balance, it is, Blizzard coin, Blizzcoin. And then those Blizz coins you can buy in the Blizzard store, or maybe you could sell those Blizz coins for some USDC.
So why my mic is acting up?
So
There we go.
that is what the big companies kind of all want. And then the worry, I mean, you will have seen the video we did about, it was like the Crypto Bro talking about, it's 2030, I'm playing Crypto
So
Crush
weird.
Saga, and I, get a rare thing from that, and I take it into an MMO, and then I do a thing, and then we go and we play Crypto Star Citizen, and, it's like the same item, the same value carrying between all those different games. And the kind
Weird.
of end result of that is we end up in a more complex but basically highly similar to an Axie Infinity situation, where it's far more just pay to play.
Why is it acting
Right,
up?
and that is absolutely not the sort of thing that we
Weird.
want. So with Blizz, it's just being done in their own little microeconomy, and it does just, though, show us the sorts of things that the big companies really want to be able to create.
So I think everyone's going to look, especially with the launch of Overwatch 2 and it being, because this could happen with the original Overwatch, but it wasn't such a big topic. But Overwatch 2 comes out and it's free.
Let me see something real quick.
You can, instead of
Okay. Let's see what it is. Like it says it's picking up something, but unless you like
on Overwatch 2
go like full volume, you're not gonna hear it.
virtual currency, you can farm gold in World of Warcraft. Now that's probably going to be less efficient than buying a token or something, or just spending your actual money.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who's like playing the auction house and can make millions of gold all the time, then you can actually just turn that into Overwatch 2 virtual currency and never spend $1, which is you're spending someone else's dollar if you're using WoW token.
And then if there was the ability to have, to cash out, or if this was just running on like a coin, we would then have a situation where players in countries where their like hourly compensation is higher, they will be paying, and then the supply of what they're, the currency that they're buying, that's coming from like the Philippines, like with Axie Infinity. That's just kind of what's going to happen to our games should this sort of thing come to pass. Which I don't necessarily think is the ideal way for things to go.
No, I think most people would rather play video games to play video games, not play video games to play video games and earn a little bit while they're there, because that soon pollutes the whole thing.
Video games are supposed to be an equalizer.
Yep.
The thing is with me, like the way I made gold in WoW was by playing the video game. I was playing WoW religiously. I wasn't thinking about making gold. It's just that when you do a mythic raid and you get the BOE, like that's it. Like you made gold, like you made tokens for the next like 3 or 4 months, okay? Because like one mythic BOE is like over 1 million, and especially at the beginning of the tier. Later on, it's like 800,000, whatever. If it had a socket, price just skyrockets. If it's a ring with a socket, it's like 1.8 million sometimes, 2.3 million. I think was the highest I've seen. And if it's during Race to World First, you can easily make a ton of money just if you're in the right realms, right? So like making money is really, like making gold in WoW is really not hard if you're participating in content honestly. Even if you're doing heroic raids, you can still sell the BOEs. They're just not going to be as expensive, but still like 200, 300k, which is still a token, right? As well as like farming old BOEs that you're looking for anyways, and then like whichever you find that you don't need, you can go ahead and sell them. BOE runs like for old content is like 5 minutes. It's not even a big deal.
And this sort of thing means that they are not that anymore. It means that it's not a level playing field. Now, speaking of a level playing field, it does seem that most gacha games, they have a bit of a limit. And maybe it's
players or payers? Payers, okay.
They have a bit of a limit. And maybe it's the sort of thing where they know that if they go too insane, they will lose their audience.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
So
right? You need to have
so
a game
Diablo
that
did.
feels like a game. It can't just be a super obvious. This is a money printer for the company. It has to feel real. It has to feel good. It has to, not take the piss.
Yeah, and Genshin Impact itself actually had a big drama because people did not feel that they were being generous enough in some of their events. So this is just how it works in the gacha side. So here, Twitter user KDog basically went.
Whoa.
So here.
Let me see this. Immoral is okay. I ran these gacha games with simulators to see how much it would cost to get a 5-star character or 6-star in the case of Arc Knights, and I did it 10 times each. This is not okay. Fate or Grand Order, Diablo Immortal. What is this amount? What is this amount, bro? Oh my god, bro, how greedy. I knew it was bad, but holy fuck, this is like 10 to 20 times worse than Fate Grand Order, which is, by the way, a complete pay-to-win game. Genshin Impact is not... The things with Genshin Impact is not even... It is pay-to-win-ish, but you can do all the content, and you can get everything by being a free-to-play player. It's just good luck. Like, it's gonna take you forever. Diablo Immortal in PvE, you can't even come close to a payer ever. Like, you cannot get the drops that a payer gets. I don't know what Arknights is. Oh my god, bro, it's so bad.
Dog basically went and used
Oh god.
like a simulator, like a kind of a gacha pull simulator for a number of
Oh god.
gacha games. Now, what's very interesting here is that this simulation has no pity system. But it actually gets worse for Diablo once we talk about the pity system. So you can see here trials 1 through 10. This is just one trial is how long it took using the simulator, how many runs, how many pulls, before they would get basically the max quality thing. So that would be a 5-star character in most of these games, 6-star character in Arknights, or a 5 out of 5 star legendary gem in Diablo Immortal. So in FGO, we have an average $224. Genshin, $223. Arknights, $79. Fire Emblem Heroes, $35. So you can see that the average for a maxed out character in those games is significantly lower than Immortal, which is $5,600.
Yep, and obviously this is
times
not
25
scientific, but in terms of probability that we're aware of,
oh god,
stuff, that's actually higher, a little bit higher. The average for Diablo Immortal is mathematically closer to 4,500, but then you look at the max and you go, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, so
why is this game working on such a different level to the rest?
So like Fate Go and Genshin Impact, they actually.
But don't worry, guys. Some people who play gacha games for a living, they say Diablo Immortal is not that bad for a gacha game. It's fucking delusional, bro.
Very similar numbers.
They clearly have similar probability stuff going on.
Yeah, and then you look at Immortal where it will allow for an $18,500 spend, and it will. It will.
And it has. We see that with Quinn69, who spent
$20,000,
US dollars.
But Matt, what about the pity system? Someone might say.
Yeah.
Pity system.
That would work in most of these games to get you this. And I've said that one of the reasons Fire Emblem Heroes maybe doesn't do super well in terms of the revenue is because it's really aggressive on pity. Where it's like, okay, well, this is obviously it's a Nintendo property, so they have to be super careful and go, okay, we'll pity you all the time. And then Genshin has like the 50-50 pity system where you either get the character you want or the other one. You 50-50 5 stars, and then the second time you get what you want. So it's like 180 rolls, which is
that's
still
really
a lot of
good.
money,
That's
but it's
actually not
still
bad.
Here's a pity system. So your average is going to be below that in most cases.
Yeah.
Because of pity across these games, because they need you to feel rewarded, right?
And then we get to the problem with Immortal. Immortal does have a pity system.
10
Its
tries.
pity system guarantees a 5-star gem. Now, you have
Which
to remember,
one?
a 5-star gem. The 5 stars there only references how many stars the gem could have.
Oh, it's
Those
not.
gems
It doesn't
can
mean it's
drop
maxed out
between
5-star.
2 and 5 stars. So the actual best gem is a 5 out of 5 star gem.
Oh
The
god.
pity system does not guarantee a 5 out of 5 star gem.
Oh
With a 2 out of 5 star
god.
gem, or a 3 or a 4 being quite a bit more likely, the pity system is more likely to give you one of those. Now, of course, then those gems, they can, be boiled down into gem power. But as an example, even like to upgrade like from a 4-star to a 5-star, you need like dupes of a 4-star. It is an insanely resource-intensive, gem crafting system. So, while this is not like the most scientific thing or anything like that, overall, it's pretty damn bad. This just shows us. So, even people saying like, oh, it's a gacha game, they are what they are. Well, actually, compared to the other gacha games, Immortal is so much worse.
Yeah.
It's insane how, look at
I
that.
loved seeing this. I loved seeing the numbers because I knew it was worse. I didn't know how much worse it is because I don't know the numbers for these games. I just kind of know of the games. But holy fuck, I want the comparison to Summoner's War. I feel Summoner's War is probably around this, maybe even less than Genshin Impact. But yeah.
Average and maximum is 25 times.
Oh god.
And it's like, I'd love to know why. Because the thing that looking at this, I look at Genshin, I look at Fate Grand Order, and obviously FGO was like basically the primo gacha game before Genshin came out. And you think obviously the people making Genshin must have looked at Fate Go and went, okay, well we know what you're doing. Those numbers are far too close for it to be an accident. especially when you think of how MiHoYo
Yeah.
went about making this, because they planned for the success. And then you look at Diablo Immortal and go, well, what were you trying to do? Whoever was designing this monetization and putting these probabilities together, what was your plan? Because your plan clearly wasn't to ape the success of Genshin and Fate Go, which are very long, drawn out.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a lot of whaling involved, but there's a cap on whaling, or a reasonable enough cap on whaling, not to say there is one. That's super, like, it's still like multiple thousands of dollars, but it's like kind of trying to be fair.
It's
Trying to
honestly, I would say this is super Blizzard-like. There's no long-term plan. They want to cash out on Diablo Immortal immediately and dump it. That's it. It's like they're gonna make this game, they're gonna dump it, barely gonna have any updates. By the way, it's been over a month, I believe, right? Has there been a Diablo Immortal update? Genshin Impact is not even a new game and gets updates like every month. Has there been an update for Diablo Immortal? I don't think so.
hold up some sort of, I guess, a facade. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
it's like
hey,
the
we're
mixture
getting ya.
of that, and then how when, like, you know, anniversary events and stuff come around, they're really generous. Well, generous.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, there's, it's like there's an ulterior motive to all of this system, all of this design, but at least a couple of them pretend to be fair.
Yeah.
And Diablo Immortal doesn't even have the...
It doesn't have to pretend to be fair. You can know that it's not fair, but it has, like, the free stuff that you get from the events and stuff like that has to feel rewarding, has to feel like you are not running in a loop for months on end to advance by one power level. Okay, there has to be, it feel like you must feel like you're still progressing as a free-to-play. Yes, you're progressing slower, you can't do as much, you have to grind more to advance. Yes, that's fine, but you have to feel like it's worth it. Diablo Immortal makes it feel like it's not worth. Unless you actually really enjoy the gameplay, you are not advancing Diablo Immortal. If you just do the dailies, and by the way, any gacha game, if you just do the dailies and the weeklies, you're gonna advance. With Diablo Immortal, if you just do the dailies, I don't even know if they're weeklies, you are not getting shit. Like, straight up, you're not getting shit. You're not advancing at all. Maybe a bit of Paragon, and it's like from 30, like next stop is 180 or some shit, or like 120. It's like, bro, who came up with these numbers? It's gonna take you exactly 120 days to get there. Just if you just do dailies.
the decency, the common decency to go, hey,
Oh
what
god.
about this? They just aren't.
No,
And
no. Fuck that.
one thing that I love
Agreed.
is we actually have a new
The Immoral gets more monetization mechanics.
monetization
Oh,
mechanic for Diablo Immortal. Yeah!
interesting.
Alright, so this is from the Gacha Gaming Reddit.
Okay.
Actually, must be a pretty fun place to hang out. Where a user
Probably.
called Shift Your Carcass has found a whole new mechanic, and now the maths that people
Oh,
are throwing around,
540,000.
it's more coming to 540,000 US dollars instead of like 100,000 US dollars. Now, I'll still say, you know, some of the industry did say 1 point like something mil to me at one point, so who knows?
I mean,
think
it's
that
all on
million
luck
was,
based.
like, you know, maxing out in a sort of, you know, PvP context where apparently that funnel is really like designed for the Chinese market, so it's kind of hard to say.
Well, even if you look at the average versus the maximum we had, because there's no pity, obviously it's not probabilistically likely, but if that's 540,000, right? On the, if that's the average worked out, then the maximum of that, going by that, is actually then closer to 1.8 mil.
Let me check
So you know
something real
those-
quick.
There you go. So you know all those 5-star gems we talked about? You stupid bastard. Might have thought you only needed 5. Well, guess what, bucko? You need 36. You need 36 5 out of 5-star gems,
Which all need upgraded to rank 10.
which all need upgraded to rank 10, which itself is a absurdly resource-intensive thing to do. So there's a sort of hidden whale mechanic that appears when you upgrade a 5 out of 5-star gem to level 10 that's attached to a piece of gear that is above rank 6. Where the 5 out of 5-star gem undergoes a process called awakening, where the 5 out of 5-star gem finally wakes up because, as we talked about before, you only get sleepy gems in this game, and you have to wake them up. And there is a currency, like it does cost money to wake up your gem
And
as
an
well.
awakening is, I think it's a one-time use item that costs
No way.
$15 worth.
Dude, no
To
way.
upgrade your gear. Because
No.
that's literally, that's it, like, just $15 to upgrade it.
What
Go away.
happens when one of these gems decides to wake up is it gets an additional 5 slots around it. and these allow for an additional 5 legendary gems to be slotted into it. And then each of those
Bro,
5-star gems
I'm
also has got to be
actually hyped
upgraded
for
to
this.
rank 10, meaning that you need 36 5 out of 5-star gems to be fully awakened. Now, to awaken the gem, you need the item that costs 1,000 eternal orbs, and then if you are lucky and you average about $15,000 per 5 out of 5-star gem, is that really the numbers we're looking at?
No, okay, so that was $15,000. That is closer to the maximum that was discovered there. The average is actually a little bit lower than that, but. Oh wait, no, maybe that's including the 5 out of 5. No, sorry, that must be including it been ranked up to 10. So it is.
Right.
Because it's so genuinely confusing and so multi-layered that you kind of go, okay, so you're talking about the upgraded version of the 5 out of 5, and then you need another 6 of those, or another 5 of those to slot in.
So you need all that shit, and then of course, in the duplication, you need dupe gems for your, dupe gems for your upgrades. So if you've got good luck, this person's saying 540 grand, over $1 million for those who are unlucky. I've heard the over $1 million number before, so it, I think that does stand to reason. And this is one thing I remember. There was someone, I don't know if they're from China or they live in China, because we've actually had a few comments from people in the region, and they've basically said that, the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to add a giga whale mechanic at the end that you won't discover until you get to that stage. This is the sort of thing.
Yeah, resonance.
Yeah.
Resonance. Yeah.
And all of this, as you said, completely, increases your resonance, and that just makes you extremely untouchable, unkillable, powerful. And it's the sort of thing where all the minnows fighting each other in PvP, yeah, sure, whatever. But their design is at the very top ranks of PvP. It's a extreme version of what Tyrol Jernstrom was talking about, where you have the stockbroker and the oil baron, and they're fighting. And it just turns into a situation where it's like, okay, fucking Mr. Stockbroker, broke-ass motherfucker, only has 5,000 resonance. The oil sheik has got 7,000 resonance.
That he paid for?
So what are you going to do, Mr. Stockbroker? Are you going to let him beat you? Hell no.
No.
Put those gains back in. There you go.
Crazy.
That's it. And hey, they want play to earn across multiple titles. That's the whole fucking ecosystem that they're trying to build with the crypto gaming. So this is what they're trying to put into every game, because as soon as you look at the fucking crypto bro that we clowned on as the big LinkedIn post, that's a world where all those cool items and cool things he's talking about, some motherfucker can just swipe and buy them all.
Yeah, I mean, that's how to go into the PC market of what's acceptable now, that's what happens in Lost Ark, where you can just buy materials. Obviously there's a little bit of limits, and because it's a PC gameplay, but it's not quite as intense or as insane as a mobile game, but that is kind of a little bit of the future of it, where they are already training people to play to earn, but they're playing to earn digital currency, they're playing to earn fake things that have value within the game. The real key to unlocking this for people, or for the businesses, is to make that earning substantially more valuable to people and globally valuable, which we've seen in Ni no Kuni Crossworlds.
Hey.
Because that game is play to earn, to pay to win, to play to earn some more. And that's the cycle where, imagine you're playing Diablo Immortal, but whenever you win PvP, instead of this little, happy fun noise of you're the best, you're the greatest, you're the best person ever, you're incredible, you have your ego struct, you also get more rewards back. And then you've got this loop of you invest, where that's what they're trying to do, and explicitly in Ni no Kuni, where the higher rank you are in PvP, and I think also the higher difficulty you're doing in the PvE farming, the better you are at actually making the currency, which turns into Marblex, which turns into real money.
And then what gets worrying is, you see that thing of invest?
Yeah.
And we're talking about this in the context of in-game items. What happens when we have the fucking Ni no Kuni Crossworlds Filipino agency worker system? Because with the whole Axie Infinity situation, what you are having is, the people in the West weren't buying powerful Axies for them to use.
No.
They were buying them and then lending them to people in other countries. So right now we talk about people investing in a gacha game, as you were saying, and Ni no Kuni, and get more powerful so you can get more, whatever the coin is called. But this can very easily turn into a very questionable situation of, of outsourcing this. And it's a bit strange because I suppose, like with the Axie Infinity situation for the people in the Philippines, that was like really great. There's this example of this town. People are just there's not the economic prospects, and they can go, and with Axie Infinity they can actually earn pretty good money for their
What is this game?
That can be good for their quality of life. But I would just wonder
It's
what
like shit.
happens when this sort of happens on a mass distributed basis. So instead of gold farming being, say, like the whole Chinese gold farming thing in World of Warcraft, instead of that being few agencies with basically just a warehouse full of lads grinding away for 14 hours a day,
Or a prison full of lads, but yeah.
or a prison full of lads, that literally happened. Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens when the prison labor that happens, that weird shit that goes on in America, the prison industrial complex, but they're all just sitting there playing Ni no Kuni. Bit of a strange image to think about. But, like, what happens when it's, not just investing in in-game items, and it's investing in people and outsourcing, and then it feels really morally weird to me. I'm not cool with that whatsoever.
Yeah, well, I think the term,
It feels like it can only end in a very exploitative way.
Yeah, I mean, the term industrial complex makes exactly kind of it's less about here's a video game that you get to play and you pay some money to have fun in your video game. No, it's how do we turn gamers into serfs in this digital economy, in this mobile gaming, or
basically.
eventually PC gaming, because that line's getting a little bit blurry. It's got blurry with Genshin Impact.
Oh yeah,
It's blurry with Diablo Immortal.
Everyone's noticing that the mobile style of gaming is coming into PC. Let's be real, like certain stuff that you can do in mobile gaming, like the daily grinds and stuff like that, is coming to a lot of PC online games. Daily chores, daily like checkpoints, like just kill these many enemies, like annihilate this many of X, whatever, right? It's like even who was it? Which game was it? There was something like kill 10 rogues or something like that, but it wasn't WoW. Which game was it? It was something in PvP. ESO had this. It had certain quests in Cyrodiil, and these were daily quests to kill a certain amount of like enemy players, which again, daily quests I think are fine, but where did it come from? Mostly from mobile games. They have these daily quests. They're the ones who started, and these are basically meant to make you come back and the next day and the next day, because maybe the daily quest is not amazing, but overall it's better. So it's like you can spend 30 minutes a day logging in doing the daily quest and get rewards that are worth 4 hours of your game time, but you don't have to pay to play for 4 hours. You just get done 30 minutes, but that makes you kind of get into the habit of logging in every day, even though what you're doing is pretty much meaningless, because the reward you're getting is not going to help you, because you're not even playing the fucking game. You're just there for the daily. Right, similar with like how the cache in WoW is working, like the World Quest cache. You literally log in every 3 days to do your caches, whatever, I don't know how to say it, and then you log out. And it's like, why are you doing this? Everything you're getting from there is not even helping you. Like, yeah, the reputation stuff is helping you overall, but it's like, overall, you don't even play the game. So why are you doing it?
A little bit blurry with Lost Ark, but not on mobile.
You clearly don't want to play the game, right? It's like, oh well, I don't have time. I have only time on the weekend, so I'm gonna log in during the week for a little bit to get the whatever. Then you're gonna log in on the weekend, do your weekly chores, and then you're gonna log out because you don't have time to actually play the game. All the chores you're doing don't allow you, like, you don't have time to actually play the game. Why are you doing the chores then? It makes no fucking sense if you think about it. But people still do it. I used to do it. I literally was not playing WoW. I was doing daily and weekly chores for months on end, logging, and aside from the raid on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, 3 hours each, I was not playing the game. Get your weekly done, which is the 10 Mythic Plus, do the raid, and by the way, I didn't even need anything from Mythic Plus. I was just hoping for something great from the vault, which never happened. Maybe once every like 3 months you get like a massive upgrade from your vault. Once you're like pretty much up there, you're doing the mythic raid, maybe kill a boss every other week, hopefully, once you get to like boss 5 and 6. Like that's usually how progression was in my guild. It takes a couple weeks to kill one boss, sometimes even a month. And then like the last few bosses take like months each, a few months each. Let's say a month to 2 months, starting from like 2 before last boss, and then so like 2 before last would last about a month. The second to last boss, like the one before last boss, would be like another month and a half, 2 months, and then the last boss, if we ever make it before the next raid tier comes out, would be probably another month to 2 months. So each boss there is like a month. So there's like, you're now really getting to play the game. All you're doing is your daily chores, your weekly chores, and your mythic raid to get absolutely nothing out of it. So I was like, why am I even playing this game? I'm legit getting nothing out of it. No rewards at all. This game is fucking dog shit. Unless you like doing chores, then yeah, whatever.
That kind of style of game of you're being trained to play to earn digital stuff, not by intent. They're just making a nice monetizable system that works for them to make a good game. But it is training people into the play to earn mindset for digital value, because your time is now worth digital value, as opposed to physical value, which is kind of a whole murky area. But that's where everything is going very quickly into everyone is now farming their digital items for money.
Yep.
Or they're paying other people to farm the digital items for money.
Yes, it's like, why even play? It's like, why even play games? It's like, you're not even actually playing the games. That's how bad the situation is. A lot of games, you're not even playing the game. It's like, this is why I never understood people buying gear, people buying gold. It's like, why would I bypass the gameplay? It makes no fucking sense to me. It's like, finding the gear is what was fun for me. Like, why would I buy the gear if I can find it? I want to find it, right? It's like I don't understand why people buy gear. It fucking, like, unless it's like an alt and like you're in a rush to gear up because you need this alt ready for raid because they requested you to change from your main to a different class, and you're like, okay, I'll do it. And then you buy gear, that I get. But people who just buy gear for the sake of having a higher item level, but they don't know what to do with it, are legit idiots.
It's the gig economy all the way down, and so instead we're going to leave this situation where we only think about like money and value within the context of professional lives, and now what they're trying to do is they're trying to extend that way of thinking into our personal lives, so that we can become, I guess, more engaged consumers, so that we can consume more, right? Like, all of this stuff is the antithesis to you going out in nature, you know, doing some exercise, learning to cook a new meal, anything that could potentially be good, and they're just trying to build a Skinner box in your real life,
like,
but instead of it,
why work out when you can pay someone else to work out for you? It's like, that's literally what it is.
being a addictive game to play, it's a whole financial thing. That makes it so much more powerful. And I think we can summarize this whole thing with one very simple statement.
People are lazy.
And that is, fuck you, it's forever.
I mean,
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's exactly it. Fuck you, it's forever.
It's forever.
But now video games and earning money instead of having fun. But I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't that sound wonderful on paper? And isn't that the whole point? Wouldn't you love to play a video game and get
super
paid?
fun.
But you're not playing a video game, you're working.
Yeah, that's it. And the sort of video game that you earn money for playing can
Is
never
that?
really be playing in the same way that you would
Defend your
play
reign?
actually like or love or remember.
Huh?
That is what gets kind of spooky.
I actually don't know what that
Yeah,
was.
imagine
Conquer new
it was
foes.
who They ended up in an RMT situation. Are they going to ensure
Yeah, play Heliquary raids. New system, Legacy of the Horadrim.
Are they always going
Oh, so there was a
ensure
patch,
some
okay.
I mean, yeah.
over time if they
Discover
do that for
powerful
years,
gear.
you know, don't just sort of like
Loot
make
new
what
set
you love
items.
your work. I mean, sometimes it is do that, but sometimes for people, you know, maybe they love art.
Okay, so maybe there was an update. I wasn't aware. Awaken your legendary gear.
They struggle to do art.
Okay.
That's kind of a worrying thing.
Yeah, and it's
Unlock
not like
gem
this is
resonance,
like,
yeah, whatever.
This is the fun thing, right? You were saying it earlier about the gold farming in China. None of this is a new concept. This stuff happened
Oh, no, it's not.
kind of accidentally because of how the virtual economy developed in MMOs and people started to see them as valuable.
Yeah.
And then, well, World of Warcraft was the big one, but RMT, the RMT market, the gold farming market, that idea of, oh, well, this is playing a game for, you know, for money. You're having fun and making money. What a wonderful world. But then you go and watch any of the
It's like telling it's like saying that video game testers have a dream job. If you like video games, video game testing is for you. Bro, it's not. Video game testing as a gamer is probably one of the worst fucking jobs ever. Imagine playing a video game you don't want to play, hours on end, just doing the same thing, like the first 1 hour gameplay or like the first 2 hours of gameplay. You just repeat that over and over to find game bugs, mechanical bugs, and stuff like that on characters that you imagine playing League of Legends when you're a one-trick pony and you have to test run each champion for like 8 hours. Obviously, you will have to test them for way more. But just imagine that you have like 110 champions right now in League, I think. 8 hours each. And you only like one of them. And you hate all the other characters. Dude, video game testing is not fun. So like, oh, well, play video games and make money. Yeah, but you play on their terms, which is like, imagine like, you wanna, like as a kid, you wanna play a game, but you can't make your own rules for the game, or you can't follow the rules. You play by someone else's rules. That's not fun.
The gold farmer documentaries, and there are quite a few out there now, and you just see these Chinese people living in like dorms where it's just like 20 computers and then a bed or a couple beds in the next room, and they're like, yeah, this was great at the start, and now I have all these.
No, it got manufactured. Yeah.
18 hours a day. And I'm not really enjoying it anymore. It's not.
Obviously not. Yeah.
So all that stuff is new.
Yeah. Never make what you game or what you play your job. Never. Like it's never gonna work out. And even streaming, if you think about it, streaming video games when it becomes a job is like you're not really playing the video game anymore, or at least you're not playing it the way you want. You can't. It's very hard to immerse yourself in the video game. Yeah. People tell you how to play all the time. People tell you like the game that you're playing is shit. It's like, it's not the same, right? Everyone wants you to play by their rules. It's not the same. It's really not the same.
I guess it's the same thing with all of the talk about NFTs. The people making these decisions and driving these and talking about them at conferences and throwing all the money in don't really think about the long-term effects on people. They're just like, shiny new thing?
Yeah, the people who build this, they get VC money. They're wealthy. They're also, maybe you could say, more the Zuck type.
Yes.
They're maybe not going to be
Zuck
the
type?
best at empathizing with people who are not in a similar financial situation to them or a similar cultural background to them. And I think this is just going to have really bad impacts when it's distributed across the world. It's going to be bad for gaming. It's going to be bad for people. So it's not something that we want to happen.
See, the thing is, though, I do not mind that this is happening. I feel like in order to appreciate real games, you need to have this like catastrophe of gaming happening. I feel like the only way to actually appreciate games is to see how games can be depreciated, like how businesses try to ruin gaming and make a business out of it. And I think that's the real way for people to actually like make real games. And for people who play video games to actually appreciate those games, because they know, like, you can't appreciate something if there's nothing worse to compare it to. You can appreciate for a bit, but not long term. You know, it's like the reason, it's like, why is everyone in the States entitled and they don't even understand that they're entitled? You know, it's like, well, if you compare it, but, you know, because they don't go to Africa and see how people live there, walk 4 miles to get water and all that shit, right? It's like, obviously I'm exaggerating. I don't know what the situation like is in North Africa, whatever, but it's like, let's be real, they're definitely not as privileged as you, right? It's like they can barely have their kids survive. They need to have like 8 kids because like the survival rate is so atrocious. 6 of them kids might even die, so you need to have more and more kids, right? Obviously now it's less because the survival rate went up, but still, right? It's like people don't understand how privileged they are. Put someone super unprivileged in front of them, like next door neighbor is like super unprivileged, people will start appreciating how privileged they are. And, you know, but it's like they don't, because it doesn't happen. Usually you're surrounded by people of your same level and you don't even understand that you're privileged because, well, everyone here is the same as me. I'm not privileged. They're all the same. We're all the same. Right? Because you don't have a comparison point. It's like you don't think outside of your own little box, that you, like your own little circle that you're involved in, right?
That's really it for the video.
So yeah.
I do have a final little.
So I actually I wouldn't say I'm happy, but it's like I think it's a necessary evil to have these extremely bad game designs, so that the good game designs will shine even more.
So we were looking at SteamDB and the most wishlisted games, and I thought, hang on a second,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to try putting our game into that and see where it is. I went through the ranking, so we are, as of yesterday, it's
like how Heidelin says it, right? How Vana says it. It's like in order to know true happiness, you need to know misery, right? It's like or something like that. You need to know pain, and then anguish or agony or whatever. It's like sadness, depression. Like I don't remember the word she used, right? I think she just used pain, right? That humanity in the cinematic. What does she say? Humanity has just avoided the. I'm gonna play that later. I'm gonna play it.
the 300
And that's, you can use that for gaming.
Upcoming game on Steam. So if you are interested in the game, watch the trailer and you think maybe this is a game I'd be interested in, do wish this in Steam. Who knows where we'll end up in that ranking. So with that little tidbit and a bit of sly self-promo done, thank you for watching. Let us know what you think.
Thank you for the video, Bellular. Honestly, a pretty good video. I do want to do the Vana thing real quick. I'll do that on a separate on a separate recording, and it's actually like, it might actually be pretty funny. So yeah, let's do that. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next.